Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends and fellow dreamer, I want to begin by asking you a question. What does being productive mean to you? For many of us, productivity is simply about checking off a long list of tasks, moving from one thing to the next, and rushing to complete everything. But productivity is so much more than that. It's about finding purpose, staying true to your passion, and living a life that aligns with your values and dreams. I know this firsthand. There was a time in my life when I thought productivity was just about working harder and longer hours. But the truth is, true productivity comes when we learn how to work smarter, not harder. I want to share with you a few thoughts on how to make that shift in your life, to not just do more, but to do what matters most. The first question we should always ask ourselves is, why am I doing this? This question, though simple, holds the key to unlocking true productivity in our lives. In a world that constantly demands more of us, more time, more energy, more output, it can be easy to get lost in the noise, to get caught up in the cycle of doing things just for the sake of doing them. But true productivity isn't about filling up your day with tasks. It's about being intentional with your time and aligning what you do with what truly matters to you. And that starts with clarity and purpose. Clarity is a powerful tool. Without it, we can feel scattered and directionless, going through the motions without knowing why. We've all had moments when we felt busy, but at the end of the day, we couldn't really point to any meaningful progress. That's because we weren't operating with clarity. We were simply reacting to the demands of the moment, rather than being intentional with our time. When you have clarity, everything you do feels purposeful. You start each task with a clear understanding of how it contributes to your bigger goals. And this alignment fuels your motivation. To gain clarity, you need to first reflect on what's important to you. What are your values? What are your goals? What drives you? Sometimes we get so wrapped up in external expectations or societal standards that we forget to check in with ourselves. We might find ourselves chasing after someone else's dream or definition of success. But productivity isn't about meeting someone else's standard. It's about pursuing your own path and staying true to your own vision. To create clarity, ask yourself deep, introspective questions about what you want your life to look like and how you can move toward that vision each day. Once you've gained clarity, the next step is to identify your purpose. Purpose is what gives your actions meaning. It's what drives you forward, even on the days when you're tired, when you feel like giving up, or when the road ahead seems unclear. Without purpose, the tasks we perform can feel like empty checkboxes, lacking real significance. But when you attach a sense of purpose to your work, every action you take becomes an expression of something bigger than yourself. It becomes a step toward creating the life you've envisioned, a life that reflects your values and passions. Purpose can often be a moving target. As we grow and evolve, our understanding of what truly matters may shift. It's important to allow yourself the flexibility to reassess your purpose over time. What once felt essential may no longer resonate with you, and that's okay. The key is to regularly check in with yourself and make sure that the direction you're moving in is still aligned with who you are becoming. Purpose isn't static, it's a living, breathing force that evolves with you, and it's this evolution that keeps you connected to your work and motivated to keep moving forward. When you operate with clarity and purpose, every action you take is infused with meaning. You start to make decisions based on your long-term vision, rather than reacting to the immediate demands of the moment. The small tasks you complete daily aren't just things you have to do. They become the building blocks of your larger goals. Whether you're working on a project at work, studying for a test, or simply organizing your home, everything becomes connected to a bigger picture. This sense of connection is what makes productivity so powerful. It's not just about getting things done, it's about creating momentum toward a future you truly desire. One of the most important aspects of clarity and purpose is the ability to say no to things that don't serve your bigger goals. This can be one of the hardest things to do, especially in a world that constantly demands more from us. There's always something else to add to the to-do list, another task that someone else wants you to complete, or another opportunity that seems too good to pass up. But if you don't have clarity and purpose guiding you, it's easy to fall into the trap of saying yes to everything. And when you do that, you end up spreading yourself too thin and losing sight of what's truly important. Learning to say no is a powerful act of self-care and self-respect. It's a way of setting boundaries and protecting your energy. By saying no to things that don't align with your clarity and purpose, you're creating space for the things that truly matter. Saying no isn't selfish. It's an act of prioritizing what's important in your life. It's about making sure that your time and energy are being spent in ways that bring you closer to your goals rather than draining you or taking you off course. When you start your day with clarity and purpose, you don't waste time wondering what you should be doing next. You already know. You have a clear vision of what's important to you and what steps you need to take to move forward. This focus allows you to avoid distractions and stay on track. And it's not just about being productive in the traditional sense. It's about being productive in a way that brings fulfillment and satisfaction. Productivity without purpose can lead to burnout, frustration, and a sense of emptiness. But productivity fueled by clarity and purpose leads to progress, growth, and a sense of accomplishment that truly nourishes your soul. Clarity and purpose also help you stay resilient in the face of challenges. Life is full of obstacles, unexpected setbacks, difficult circumstances, and moments when things don't go as planned. Without clarity and purpose, it's easy to get discouraged when things don't work out. You might feel lost or uncertain, unsure of what to do next. But when you have a clear understanding of your goals and a deep sense of purpose, you're better equipped to handle adversity. Your purpose becomes your anchor, giving you the strength to keep going even when things get tough. During times of struggle, return to your clarity and purpose. Remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. Sometimes it's easy to forget why we started down a particular path. We get caught up in the grind and lose sight of the bigger picture. But when you reconnect with your purpose, it reignites your passion and determination. It reminds you that the work you're doing, the challenges you're facing, and the setbacks you're experiencing are all part of the journey. And that journey is leading you somewhere meaningful. The process of gaining clarity and purpose isn't always quick or easy. It's an ongoing journey of self-discovery and growth. You might not have all the answers right away, and that's okay. The important thing is that you keep asking yourself the tough questions, keep reflecting on your goals, and keep adjusting your path as you move forward. Clarity and purpose aren't something you achieve once and then forget about. They are something you continually nurture and refine throughout your life. As you move through your day, ask yourself frequently, is what I'm doing aligned with my clarity and purpose? If the answer is no, it's time to reassess. If the answer is yes, then keep going, knowing that every action you take is building towards something meaningful. When you start with clarity and purpose, every step you take feels significant. It brings you closer to the life you've envisioned for yourself, and it empowers you to live in alignment with your true values. This isn't about perfection, it's about intentionality. Clarity and purpose don't guarantee a smooth or easy path. They don't promise that everything will work out the way you expect, but they do give you the strength and guidance to keep moving forward, even when things get difficult. They help you stay focused on what truly matters and allow you to navigate life with intention and meaning. When you operate from a place of clarity and purpose, your actions are no longer random or disconnected. They are purposeful steps toward creating the life you truly desire. And that's the real power of productivity, not just in doing more, but in doing what matters most. Taking care of yourself is one of the most essential components of productivity that is often overlooked or undervalued. In the pursuit of success, we tend to prioritize tasks, deadlines, and the demands of others, sometimes to the detriment of our own well-being. We push ourselves harder and harder, thinking that the more we do, the more we accomplish. However, this mindset often leads to burnout, stress, and ultimately a decrease in our ability to produce high-quality work. The truth is that in order to be truly productive and effective in our lives, we must first take care of ourselves, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Physical well-being is the foundation of our ability to function effectively throughout the day. If we neglect our bodies, if we don't get enough rest, eat properly, or engage in physical activity, we find ourselves drained, lethargic, and mentally foggy. When we're tired or not feeling our best, it becomes much harder to focus, make decisions, or stay productive. Physical health isn't just about looking good, it's about feeling good and having the energy to take on the challenges of daily life. Exercise, a balanced diet, and sufficient sleep are non-negotiable when it comes to maintaining the energy levels necessary to be productive. Getting enough sleep is especially important. Sleep isn't a luxury, it's a necessary for cognitive function and overall health. Yet many of us sacrifice sleep in order to accomplish more, believing that the more hours we spend working, the better our results will be. However, studies show that inadequate sleep leads to a decline in focus, memory, and decision-making abilities, all of which negatively impact productivity. When we're well rested, we can think more clearly, manage stress better, and tackle our tasks with greater efficiency. It's essential to recognize that productivity isn't about working harder for longer hours, but about working smarter. And that starts with taking care of our bodies by ensuring we get enough rest. Mental well-being is equally crucial. Mental health affects every aspect of our productivity, from our ability to concentrate to our creativity and problem-solving skills. When we're stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed, it becomes incredibly difficult to focus on the tasks at hand. We might find ourselves procrastinating, avoiding work, or feeling paralyzed by the pressure of everything we need to accomplish. Taking care of our mental health involves practicing self-awareness, setting healthy boundaries, and finding ways to manage stress effectively. This might look like taking time for meditation, journaling, or engaging in hobbies that allow us to unwind and recharge. In a world where we are constantly connected to technology and information, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the noise. Constant notifications, emails, and messages can create a sense of urgency that makes it difficult to focus on the present moment. Practicing mindfulness, whether through deep breathing exercises, short moments of quiet reflection, or simply unplugging from technology for a while, helps to reduce mental clutter and allows us to be more present and focused. When we clear our minds of distractions, we create space for creativity, problem solving, and deep work, which are the foundations of high productivity. Emotional well-being is another aspect of self-care that directly impacts our productivity. Our emotional state affects how we approach tasks, interact with others, and deal with setbacks. When we're feeling down, frustrated, or unfulfilled, it's easy to lose motivation and fall into a cycle of negativity. On the other hand, when we nurture our emotional health, we become more resilient, positive, and able to approach challenges with a clear mind and an open heart. Taking care of your emotional health means recognizing and addressing your feelings rather than suppressing them. It's about allowing yourself to feel what you need to feel and then finding healthy ways to process those emotions. Whether it's talking to a friend, seeking professional support, or engaging in activities that bring you joy, emotional self-care helps you stay balanced and grounded. This balance is essential for maintaining the mental and physical energy needed to stay productive and focused on your goals. Spiritual well-being, though sometimes overlooked, plays a vital role in our overall sense of fulfillment and productivity. Spirituality doesn't necessarily mean religion. It can simply refer to a sense of connection to something greater than oneself. Whether it's through nature, personal beliefs, or a sense of purpose, nurturing your spiritual health can provide a sense of inner peace, clarity, and direction. When we are connected to our deeper values and purpose, it becomes easier to stay motivated and aligned with our goals, even during challenging times. Self-care isn't a one-time task, it's an ongoing practice. It requires consistent effort and intentionality to maintain our well-being. That means scheduling time for rest, physical activity, and mental relaxation. In the same way we schedule meetings and work tasks, just as we wouldn't neglect an important deadline or task, we shouldn't neglect our self-care. It's not selfish to take time for ourselves. It's necessary. When we take care of ourselves, we're better able to show up for others, be present in our work, and contribute our best selves to the world around us. The act of caring for ourselves also creates a positive feedback loop. The more we prioritize our well-being, the more energy and focus we have for the things that matter. Taking care of our bodies, minds, and emotions allows us to be more productive, more creative, and more effective in everything we do. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that we must constantly hustle and sacrifice our health to achieve success. But true success comes from balance, from the ability to take care of ourselves while working toward our goals. By making self-care a priority, we create a foundation for long-term productivity and success. We recognize that we are not machines, and that in order to be our best selves, we must nourish and care for our bodies, minds, and spirits. Self-care isn't just about taking breaks when we're tired. It's about creating a sustainable lifestyle that allows us to show up fully in every aspect of our lives. When we take care of ourselves, we take care of the future, ensuring that we have the energy, resilience, and focus to continue pursuing our goals and living a life full of purpose and meaning. Consistency, not perfection, is the real key to achieving long-term success and productivity. In a world where we are often bombarded with images of flawless outcomes, the pressure to be perfect can be overwhelming. We might start projects or goals with high hopes and expectations, only to fall short when things don't go as planned. The desire for perfection can paralyze us, causing procrastination and self-doubt. However, it's essential to understand that true progress doesn't come from doing everything perfectly. It comes from showing up consistently, making incremental improvements, and staying committed to the process even when things aren't flawless. The pursuit of perfection is often rooted in the belief that success can only be achieved if everything is done in an ideal way. Perfectionism often leads to overthinking, hesitation, and inaction. We spend excessive time tweaking, adjusting, and refining, only to find ourselves stuck in an endless cycle of trying to get it right. This need for perfection can create a barrier to progress, as we are constantly waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect conditions. The truth is that there is no such thing as perfect. Life is messy, unpredictable, and full of uncertainties, and expecting perfection from ourselves is not only unrealistic but counterproductive. Understand is consistency is about committing to small, deliberate actions over time, regardless of whether they're perfect. Consistency is what allows us to make progress, build momentum, and create meaningful results. It's about showing up every day, even when we don't feel like it, and doing the work that needs to be done. When we approach our goals with consistency, we don't get bogged down by the pressure to do everything perfectly. Instead, we focus on making steady progress, knowing that each small step is leading us closer to where we want to be. One of the most powerful aspects of consistency is that it creates a snowball effect. Small, consistent actions add up over time to produce significant results. Think about any skill or habit you've developed, whether it's learning a new language, getting fit, or building a business. At first, progress may seem slow, and the results may not be immediately noticeable. However, as you continue to put in consistent effort, you begin to see the cumulative effect of your actions. The key is to stick with it, even when progress feels slow or invisible. Consistency compounds over time, and before you know it, the small actions you've been taking will lead to significant achievements. Consistency also builds resilience. The more we show up, even when we're not perfect, the more we learn to embrace imperfection and accept that setbacks are part of the process. We learn to push through discomfort, face challenges head-on, and keep going despite difficulties. This mindset is crucial for long-term success because it helps us stay motivated and focused even when things aren't going as planned. Perfectionism, on the other hand, often leads to a fear of failure or making mistakes, which can cause us to avoid taking risks or trying new things. Consistency allows us to overcome this fear, take action, and learn from our mistakes, knowing that they are simply part of the journey toward growth and improvement. In fact, consistency encourages us to embrace failure as an inevitable part of the learning process. When we focus on consistency instead of perfection, we understand that failure is not a reflection of our worth or abilities, but an opportunity to learn and grow. It's through consistent effort, even in the face of failure, that we develop the resilience and mindset needed for success. Every time we fail and get back up, we build strength, experience, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our goals. Another important aspect of consistency is the way it helps us build habits. Habits are the foundation of productivity because they automate behavior and reduce the need for constant decision making. When we do something consistently, it eventually becomes a habit and we no longer have to rely on willpower or motivation to get it done. Instead of feeling like we have to force ourselves to take action, consistency allows us to rely on the power of routine. Whether it's setting aside time each day to work on a project, exercising regularly, or practicing a skill, consistency turns those actions into habits that eventually become second nature. The key to consistency is discipline, not perfection. Discipline allows us to stay on track and continue taking action even when things are difficult or when we don't feel like it. Discipline doesn't require perfection, it simply requires commitment. It's about developing the ability to keep going even when we encounter obstacles or setbacks. Perfectionism, on the other hand, can be paralyzing because it focuses on achieving a specific outcome or standard, which can feel overwhelming. Discipline, coupled with consistency, allows us to take action every day, regardless of how we feel or whether the outcome is perfect. Consistency also allows us to focus on the process rather than the end result. When we are overly fixated on perfection, we tend to focus too much on the final outcome and can become discouraged if things don't go as planned. However, when we focus on being consistent, we learn to appreciate the small victories along the way. Every task we complete, every challenge we overcome, and every day we show up is a step in the right direction. This mindset shift helps us stay motivated as we learn to celebrate the process itself rather than obsessing over the perfect outcome. By embracing consistency over perfection, we free ourselves from the stress and pressure that comes with trying to do everything perfectly. Setting boundaries and prioritizing our time is one of the most essential skills we can develop in a world that's constantly pulling us in multiple directions. Many of us find ourselves overwhelmed by the sheer volume of tasks and responsibilities that demand our attention, and it's easy to get caught in the cycle of trying to do everything. The constant pressure to perform, meet expectations, and stay available for others can leave us drained and scattered, without ever truly moving forward toward our personal goals. The key to managing all of this and to achieving true productivity lies in learning how to set boundaries and prioritize effectively. Boundaries are not just about saying no to others. They are a way of saying yes to yourself. They are a form of self-respect, a way to protect your time, your energy, and your mental well-being. Boundaries create space for you to focus on what's truly important and prevent you from being overwhelmed by the endless demands of the outside world. Without boundaries, it's easy to let other people's priorities become your own, taking you off course and leaving you feeling drained and unaccomplished. Setting boundaries starts with recognizing your limits. This means understanding that you cannot do everything and be everywhere at once. It's acknowledging that your time, energy, and resources are finite and that you have to be intentional about where and how you invest them. This realization can be liberating because it gives you permission to stop trying to please everyone and start focusing on what truly matters to you. When you set clear boundaries, you stop being reactive to the demands of others and start being proactive in choosing how you want to spend your time. The first step in setting boundaries is to identify what's taking up your time and energy. Take a moment to reflect on where you're spending most of your time and whether those activities align with your goals and values. Often, we say yes to things out of obligation, guilt, or fear of disappointing others. We might overcommit ourselves because we want to be helpful or we don't want to miss out on opportunities. But this behavior can lead to burnout and a lack of focus on what truly matters. Setting boundaries requires you to make conscious decisions about what deserves your attention and to stop spreading yourself too thin by trying to please everyone. Once you've identified where your time is being spent, it's time to prioritize. Prioritization is the art of focusing on the tasks that will bring you closer to your goals and letting go of the things that won't. It's about understanding that not everything is equally important. In fact, there are often only a few key tasks or projects that will truly move the needle in your life. Everything else, no matter how urgent it may seem in the moment, can wait or be delegated to someone else. The key to effective prioritization is understanding your long-term vision. What are your most important goals? What will bring you the most fulfillment and growth? Once you have a clear sense of what matters most to you, it becomes much easier to make decisions about where to invest your time and energy. The idea is to focus on high-impact activities, those that align with your purpose and contribute to your personal or professional growth, and minimize time spent on low-value tasks that don't serve your larger objectives. Prioritization is also about understanding the difference between urgent tasks and important tasks. It's easy to get caught up in the rush of responding to emails, attending meetings, or putting out fires, but many of these tasks are merely urgent, not important. Urgent tasks often give us the illusion of productivity, but they can distract us from the work that truly matters. Important tasks, on the other hand, may not always feel pressing, but they are the ones that will have the greatest long-term impact on your goals and vision. Learning to distinguish between these two types of tasks is a crucial part of prioritization. When you focus on what's truly important, you're able to stay aligned with your larger vision, even if it means letting go of some of the distractions that seem urgent but aren't essential. Another aspect of setting boundaries and prioritizing is learning to say no. Saying no can be difficult, especially when we feel obligated to say yes to others, whether it's a request from a friend, a colleague, or a family member. However, saying yes to everything can quickly lead to exhaustion, resentment, and a lack of focus on your own needs and goals. Saying no is not an act of selfishness, it's an act of self-care. It's a way to protect your time and energy so you can be fully present for the things that truly matter. Saying no might feel uncomfortable at first, but it's an essential skill for maintaining balance in your life and ensuring that you're giving your best to the things that align with your priorities. Boundaries also apply to how you manage your time within the day. Setting aside time for specific tasks or activities and sticking to that schedule can help you stay on track and avoid becoming overwhelmed. Time blocking is an effective method of managing your day, where you allocate specific blocks of time for focused work, personal activities, and rest. When you create these boundaries within your day, you reduce the likelihood of distractions and ensure that you are giving each task the attention it deserves. By committing to these blocks of time, you're less likely to fall into the trap of multitasking, which can dilute your focus and decrease productivity. It's also important to recognize that boundaries are not just about saying no to external requests, but also about saying no to your own distractions. In today's world, it's easy to get pulled into social media, emails, or random thoughts that derail your focus. Setting boundaries around how you spend your time on these activities is crucial. This might mean turning off notifications, setting specific times for checking email, or establishing digital detox periods where you disconnect from technology altogether. By creating these boundaries with your own habits and distractions, you protect your time and stay focused on the tasks that matter most. Setting boundaries and prioritizing is about taking control of your time and energy. It's about recognizing that your time is valuable and should be spent on the things that align with your purpose and goals. Boundaries allow you to protect that time, and prioritization ensures that you're using it in the most effective way possible. By learning to say no, by being intentional with where you invest your energy, and by recognizing what truly matters to you, you can reclaim your time and move toward the life you want to create. Embracing failure as a lesson is one of the most transformative mindsets we can adopt when striving for productivity and growth. In a world that often places a premium on success, perfection, and achievement, failure is too frequently viewed as something to be avoided, hidden, or even feared. However, it's important to understand that failure is not a roadblock. It's an essential part of the journey, an opportunity for learning and growth. When we change our perspective on failure, we can begin to see it as a powerful teacher that provides valuable insights, strengthens resilience, and pushes us forward towards success. We've all experienced moments of failure, whether it's a project that didn't go as planned, a goal that was not achieved, or a personal setback. Failure often feels like a sign of defeat. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't go the way we expect. The temptation is to internalize the experience, blaming ourselves or feeling like we're not good enough. But that mindset is limiting. In reality, every failure carries with it a lesson that can only be learned through the experience of falling short. One of the key things to understand about failure is that it doesn't define us. Failing at something doesn't mean we are failures as individuals. It simply means that in that particular moment or endeavor, we didn't succeed. This distinction is crucial. It allows us to separate our identity from our actions. We are not defined by our mistakes. We are defined by how we respond to them, by our willingness to learn from them and keep moving forward. When we embrace failure as a lesson, we start to approach challenges with a sense of curiosity rather than fear. Instead of asking, what went wrong in a self-critical way, we start asking, what can I learn from this? This shift in perspective opens up new possibilities. Rather than seeing a failed attempt as an ending, we begin to see it as a stepping stone, a necessary part of the process. Every misstep or setback provides feedback that we can use to improve and refine our approach. This process of learning from failure requires self-reflection. It's not enough to simply experience failure and move on. To truly grow, we need to take the time to reflect on what happened and why it happened. What went wrong and what could we have done differently? What lessons can we draw from the experience? These reflections can be uncomfortable, especially when we feel like we've let ourselves down or disappointed others. But it's in this discomfort that we find the most valuable insights. By sitting with our mistakes and examining them without judgment, we uncover opportunities for improvement and growth. And failure also teaches us resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to recover from setbacks and keep going. When we view failure as a lesson, we become more resilient because we understand that failure is not the end. It's just a part of the process. Resilient people are not those who avoid failure, but those who use failure as fuel to keep moving forward. They learn from their mistakes, adapt, and try again with a renewed sense of determination. One of the most powerful aspects of failure is that it builds our ability to take risks. The fear of failure often holds us back from stepping outside our comfort zones and trying new things. We worry about making mistakes, looking foolish, or not measuring up. But when we embrace failure as a lesson, we begin to see that failure isn't something to fear. It's something to expect and accept as part of the process of growth. This mindset shift encourages us to take more risks, to try things that scare us, and to push beyond our limitations. The more we practice this, the more we become comfortable with the unknown, which is where the greatest opportunities for growth lie. Failure also gives us the opportunity to build empathy. When we experience failure, we gain a deeper understanding of what it feels like to struggle, to fall short of our goals, and to face challenges. This empathy helps us to be more compassionate with ourselves and with others. We begin to recognize that everyone faces setbacks, and that failure is not a reflection of personal worth, but a part of the shared human experience. With this perspective, we are better able to support others in their own failures, offering encouragement and understanding instead of judgment or criticism. In the process of embracing failure, it's important to practice patience. Growth takes time, and learning from failure is a process that doesn't always yield immediate results. There will be times when we fail multiple times before seeing any signs of progress, and that can be frustrating. But patience is key. Just as we don't expect a seed to sprout overnight, we can't expect immediate results from our efforts to learn from failure. Success is often the result of many small steps, some of which may involve setbacks along the way. The key is to keep moving forward, to trust that every failure is teaching us something valuable, and to remain patient as we continue to learn and grow. One of the most liberating things about embracing failure as a lesson is that it helps to remove the stigma and fear around it. Failure becomes something we can talk about openly rather than something to hide or be ashamed of. This openness creates a culture of growth and learning, where mistakes are seen as part of the natural process rather than something to be avoided at all costs.